And we're live. Welcome in, everyone. American and Leeds, the American and Leeds YouTube and Spotify and Twitch. Spotify will be later. Hope you're all doing well. It is late afternoon across the pond in Leeds and other places of the UK. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. I know there's been some Irish people that jump in. There's been some Australian people that jump in. Of course, a few Americans that jump in. But mainly, if you're watching me, you are English and probably above the age of 50 and probably a male. So if you are all of those things, you hit bingo. Cheers to you and hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about Farke's comments. We're going to talk about Wilfried Gnonto's comments post-match. Look a little bit at the season ahead during the international break, and we'll dip into some comments as well. This is my first time I'm actually streaming on Twitch, so if you'd like to give me a follow there, that would be appreciated. Twitch is a streaming platform. Mainly, I think it came out of gaming, but we will digress. Daniel Farke, you just won a game 2-0, another clean sheet. What do you say?
To make sure, come on, right now it's over the line and find the confidence back. That's a bit also how we are. We have many, also in the offense, many young players and also players who are not that much in the spotlight in the perhaps also in the last seasons, like Matteo today, really still a young lad. Brandon Aronson, difficult year. Also Manu Solomon, a bit older, but he's also like difficult year. So it's not like they are in their full rhythm. And then it's also important then to score goals and to win games. Good for their confidence, good for their rhythm. And yeah, I'm happy with the win.
I think after the first one.
So he's basically saying it was a victory, 3 points over the line. Cut my guys some slack. Matteo Joseph's new. Solomon's coming off of a bad year. Brendan Aronson's coming off of a bad year. And we got the 3 points. Now, I don't think that's a viable excuse. I think it's still not clicking up top. I really think that there's struggling. This year will be a struggle to score more than previous years. And we'll go more into that.
Wonderfully ugly goal. Yeah. After that in the second half, I felt comfortable, yet they were always just a threat, weren't they?
Yes, it's a good side for me. QPR are a much better team, especially in terms of possession than their current league position. They're struggling with a few key players injured, but I think they will finish in a much better position. We're also struggling against them in last season. Obviously, when you don't bury the game, and we had chances also. When I think about the counter attack, normally it should be a goal 3 against 1, and then the last pass, 3-yard pass from Willie to Mano was not perfect. Normally in this situation, especially when it's the third game within 7 days, you should bury the game. But you always have to be aware that you don't run into a counterattack, and they have some threats up front. We had to play concentrated further on. I have to give lots of praise to my central players, because it was perhaps also like from Joe Roswell and Ao Tanaka, not the most shining performance, but we must not forget it's for them. They have to handle all the load and carry all the load at the moment, because more or less many of my key midfield players are injured, and the way they do this, perhaps not always perfect in every situation. Oh, it also a terrible pass in the second half where we nearly conceded. But overall, I have to say how important they are for us. Keeping in mind for his first season in English football, and Joe Roswell has hardly played the game in the last 2 years in the starting lineup. I'm pretty happy with them, how they.
So Daniel Farke, again, making excuses a little bit about the play of his central defenders. I thought they played good. The reason we go up this season is going to be because of the defense. It's going to be because of the partnership between Pascal and Joe Rodon and Joe Rothwell and Ao Tanaka. That is why we go up. And if you want to insert Ampadu, Gruev's out for the year. I hate to tell it. People keep saying that he's going to come back. He is out. He's gone. He will not play again this year. Gruev is gone. It's like pretty much confirmed. I think he went through surgery. His injury is far worse than Ampadu might make it back after Christmas. We might make it back after Christmas. And quite honestly, Ramazani is one that I think will make it back, but he will be back like Christmas time during the holiday season. Really, after that injury and like getting in some actual game time and some practice time, it'll take him probably December to get stuck in. So, look, but I want to be clear that the defense has been rock solid. Meslier hasn't necessarily been rock solid, but the back line, and really, here's the key to me, playing with out and out fullbacks. And I'm going to just saw a headline. We'll dig into this a little bit later, but you have to have out and out fullbacks. And I love Archie. I mean, he's going to be an incredible player for Tottenham. I'm sure his ceiling will be, maybe playing at one of the big three clubs abroad, Barca, Real Madrid, and Bayern. But with that being said, Archie was being played out of position. When we have out and out fullbacks, it makes the pitch bigger. And you saw that with Jayden Bogle. I mean, Jayden Bogle's become almost an integral part of the offense, especially last game. And the partnerships, much like under Marcelo Bielsa, but the patterns of play are a little bit different. The fullbacks overlap, underlapping are going to be huge. That's why I want to see Schmidt coming in the next game. But let's see. He's making some excuses for his players that I don't think are necessarily valid. Let's hear Farke continue.
Also are capable to carry the load at the moment. It's also important right now to have a bit of break.
At the end, though, Altanaka, I mean, he was down on the ground like a starfish. He was just so tired, wasn't he?
Yes, of course. He's also has not played on the highest level, and then to come to English football, also this intensity, first time more or less this load also in his career, because he has not played in Europe. He has played in the second time in Germany, and Germany we're a bit lazy. We just play one game per week. Right now here, he has to play all 3 days, and it's also for him new. And then, sadly he has to travel again and has to keep going again. Tough weeks for him, but he is professional. He goes through it, but. Today, of course, he was a bit exhausted in the end, but we need him on the pitch.
Yeah, Koulibaly will be key. I mean, this is important. I think, him managing Al Tanaka and Joe Rothwell's minutes will be big. That's why, because of Gruev's injury, which is season ending, that's why we bought Koulibaly and we got him off the scrap heap, so to speak. I mean, he's an older player, but I think he's going to be good for us. He's going to be good at this level. Keeping Rothwell and Al healthy, keeping of course, Joe Rodon and Pascal Struijk healthy is going to be key.
Each and every minute, and we're all happy that we have it.
Second place in the table as a result of the outcome today. Is that a good place to be going into this final international break?
Normally used to be in position.
Of course, as we record, we are third.
One, if I'm honest, in this league. So, but at the moment, the table is not important. What is important, we are there on the good point tally and on the good path performance-wise. We're happy with this. Also, like to be able to show that you're able after a loss to respond with a win. This is also winning mentality, and with many things, I'm pleased at the moment. Hopefully, also pretty soon, some of our injured or meanwhile also suspended players will come back, and then hopefully we're in an even better place. But we're on a good path.
Ethan Ampadu, might he be back?
Before we go into the Ethan Ampadu answer, please smash the like the smash. I am a super small channel, and that's the people that are watching this. It allows me it'll go into other Leeds United fans feeds, and more people can see it. So please smash like. We'll go with 25 likes for this video would be huge for me and the channel. And I love to talk Leeds.
Bit quicker than we were anticipating.
At the moment, it looks good. So we spoke about that he probably can join us at some point during December, and it's realistic that he would be just available for the games in January. Yeah, if he's already perhaps available for a few games in December during a busy busy schedule would be, of course, beneficial, and we would take this. But at the moment, I'm just carefully optimistic because during the rehab, there could always be a setback anyhow. So he has not trained with the team so far, and to last a bit. And also after such a long injury, it's not like one team training session, then he's available for the game. He needs a bit of time, but hopefully it would be nice to have him at least for a few games already in December, but we will see.
That is much more positive than I anticipated. So December is probably a good time frame. Let's listen to Wilfried Gnonto now, post-match. This went, I don't want to say overused word, viral, but Gnonto was asked about his time this year and playing under Daniel Farke. This is what he had to say. This is courtesy of BBC Radio Leeds.
To be fair, but at the same time, it's tough. I'm in a position where I would like to, take players on, go 1v1, but it's not always possible. But at the same time, I know that if they come on me, double up on me, it's easier for someone else to have spaces. So I just try to use it as much as I can. I have to improve as well, but at the same time, it's a new position for me, and I'm sure I'm gonna get even better.
So I believe he's referencing the fact that he's being played on his non-favorite side, the right side, or maybe not up the middle. I would like to see him up the middle. I would like to see him in the 10 position as an American. I'm not completely sold on Brendan Aronson as a 10. I think his touch lets him down sometimes. So I would actually like to see Wilfried Gnonto play the center of the pitch. He's our star boy, right? He's the most technically gifted player that we have. I think there's a lot of people that want to see more out of him. He is getting doubled up on, much like Crescencio Somerville was, I think, in certain games. And so Gnonto's going to be doubled up on and be made well aware. I think coaches and managers are singling out Wilfried Gnonto as our player that will express himself and express the entire team through his play. So Gnonto's got to figure some stuff out. I think he's doing it, but I like to play Wilfried Gnonto at any of the three positions behind the striker, and I think he would be probably our best option, maybe outside of Ramazani on the left. So that's my kind of thoughts. I was on Just Joe on his after kind of his match reaction long form podcast that I did, and I said it once already. I'm going to continue to say it this entire stream. We go up this year because of the back four, and maybe you could say the back six. The fact that we are not going to be as proficient in front of goal as we were under Crescencio Somerville and Jorginho Rutter, that is going to mean that we need to not concede, much like we did last year, but even more so. We can't concede. We have to score first, and the fact that we just have to be more patient and creative in front of goal, and the fullbacks will allow that. Playing with out-and-out fullbacks, stretching the pitch, allowing for options. I think you're going to see that. And this is why I want to see Isaac Schmidt. I want to see Mr. Schmidt play in a match. I think he deserved it. I mean, a lot of people said he played the winger position better than Solomon. I'm going to kick the Solomon discussion off to the side. I was not impressed by him. But at the same time, he's coming off. Maybe I'm going to give him some breaks. He's coming off injury. He's playing with a fullback in Sam Byram that he doesn't have a partnership with yet. So I do want to see Mr. Schmidt play. He's a forward-thinking fullback. And, I just think he offers quite a bit going forward. Now, Daniel Farke might not trust him defensively. I just went on a huge tangent about how we have to have clean sheets. So in the gaffer, I'm going to trust kind of in that discussion. But I really am, I think, bullish on Isaac Schmidt long term. I liked what I saw. Let me know what you think. quick little thing on fullbacks, and then maybe we'll take a look at the table. I saw this. This just came down the press, so shout out to this blog, Leeds United. Sold a player for $1 million who's now starting week in, week out in the top flight. We know who that is. That is Mr. Leif Davis, and this is courtesy of Leeds United News, leedsunited.news website and blog. Leeds United sold a player for just under $1 million under Jesse Marsch. And this is either an indictment on Jesse Marsch or, of course, the man pictured there, Victor Orta, and their just evaluation of the team at that point. We did not have a left back. And there was an absolute player in there. And I think there was a lot of fans that were crying out, why are we selling our one left back? And they wound up being right. Okay. And then the article goes on to really cite some of Victor Orta's kind of good and bad. Victor Orta did have a kind of a knack for identifying talent, but I don't think he had a knack for negotiating deals. I think he was a bad negotiator. I think he was a bad manager of the owner. I don't think he really understood how to lobby Rads for money, and I I think in many ways look fondly upon the Orta era as an era where we kind of brought in some really great players, but also an era that unfortunately we let some good talent go. And of course, Leif Davis is now killing it in the Premier League. We could talk about it more. Obviously, we saw it last season in the Championship, but he's continuing on his run of form. And yeah, I mean, it cites some of his stats. Is what 37 assists, 6 goals last year, and obviously just beat Tottenham. But even if Leif Davis started for us last year, in many ways it would have allowed Archie to move to the middle and us to play with an out-and-out fullback. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments about what we did to Leif Davis. I remember a video of Calvin Phillips pointing to Leif Davis, maybe after promotion, and him basically saying, this guy's next, watch out for him. I think he did it with Pascal too. But anyways, once again, smash the like if you could. 25 likes is the goal. I am going to just read. Well, let's look at the table here and see where we're at. I mean, this is a much weaker EFL championship than I think we saw last year, right? Sutherland's at the top of the league. Of course, we are, kicking ourselves. I don't know. We all have the nightmare that is Elon Meslier's. I don't know what that was. His nightmare that he had towards the end of the Sutherland game in our heads, but I think we'll exact revenge, hopefully, on them. Sheffield United, who we soundly beat, is now on a better run of form. Burnley, who, I mean, talk about a bailout. I did not think that was a handball. Maybe it was a handball on technicality, but it just seemed like a really lucky call by Burnley to get a penalty in the 93rd minute or so. I believe it was yesterday. West Brom, who have, look at West Brom's run of form. It's like draw, win. Well-managed side. I think they will be in the playoff conversation. Watford, who we just completely steamrolled, and Borough and Millwall after that. Look, we are on 29 points. We're 2 off the top. I just don't think the formula to beat Leeds United will change. Really, I don't think there is a team, maybe Sunderland, that will change its tactics against Leeds United, right? Like the tactics against Leeds United are park the bus of some form, park his fumble. I like that. His fumble. Yeah, that's an American phrase. He fumbled it. He bottled it. God damn. But yeah, the formula against Leeds United will not change. It is going to be park the bus, be defensively stout, nick a goal, and then S-house, time waste from that minute forward. I mean, you're looking at 30 to 45 seconds for a goal kick. It's so frustrating. The ball goes out of bounds. The other team's up a goal, and I'm referring to Millwall and Southampton and Burnley and all these matches that we've watched under Daniel Farke. And it's just like, it's the worst football can be. And, but this is the way. This will be the way. Every single game, week in, week out. That's why we have to score first. We have to continue to find ways to unlock defenses, and Farke's ability to, I think, rotate the top four, more fluidity amongst the top four, getting Gnonto more centrally, having Aronson drift out wide, and finishing the dinner with the strikers, I think is just so important. The final ball will continue to be extremely important. So yeah, I think that's going to get, and set pieces. I mean, set piece defense, we're probably all happy with, but my gosh, we get so many corners, so many set pieces, and we cannot. It just, does anybody feel like when we get a penalty or a free kick in and around the box that this ball is going to get anywhere close to the net? I don't feel that way. So I really am hoping that Farke works on this, being more lethal on set pieces, asking more questions. This is very important. So I'm going to dip in a little bit into your comments. We would have given Schmidt a 4-year deal unless Farke's plans for him are similar to Gruev. He will feature more as he gets up to speed. Well, I hope that's true. Drives me crazy when people say we can't break a low block. We break more low blocks than anyone as we face. I don't want to say that we can't do it, but it just is. Look, like Jer Lynch, who's been on my channel many times, has told me, you put in a low block because it's hard to break in a low block. That's what you do. That you give your chance to yourself to win, right? That's why it's used. With that being said, it's not, what I'm saying is, you're absolutely right. It's not going to change. And so the question remains for me, do we have a player that can unlock a defense? And I guess I'm saying I don't think we currently do. The only player you could probably say that is Ramazani, or in a transitional moment. I love Brendan Aronson as an American. His first touch can be incredible, and then his second touch can be terrible. And then, people are going to say he hit the bar yesterday. I absolutely agree with that. He did. He almost had a moment of magic. He is a pressing 10 that will get us goals and assists, but when the chips are down, will he be that player that gets the equalizer or the winner? I think we saw it in week 1, but the person that put him in was Ruter. So, look, and you can't buy it. Right? I'm at the point where we're not going to buy a 10. We're not going to buy another winger. We're not going to, we could, but is it really going to make a difference? Because by the time the January window closes, you've negotiated the contract. It's going to take them 3 or 4 weeks to get them up to speed. You're almost at March. The season ends at the end of April. So we're rolling with who we got. And that's okay. But I'm just saying, if that's who we've got, it's going to be more difficult to score. Thus, clean sheets and our defensive shape with or without the ball continues to remain extremely important. That's all. I think that we go up. If we go up, that partnership with Rodon and Pascal Struijk means they are healthy week in and week out, and they are playing together, and they are just tight as ever. Again, I think you saw a solid partnership towards the end of the back last season. Obviously, Struijk had a abductor issue, and Ampadu stepped in. It was we really didn't miss a beat. Ampadu was pretty solid back there. But hopefully, Ampadu was not maybe the first choice option right back there. So I think this partnership has to continue to remain strong, and we'll see. I mean, I don't know. He hasn't really subbed either of the center backs off for minutes or anything like that. In terms of Max Vober, if he was available, but he doesn't really have any options because I think Max Vober was out for a while. More vertical passes from the midfield to break blocks. I think so, possibly. I have enjoyed Rothwell's sense of urgency. He's pressing the ball up, right? I don't know if he's broken lines, so to speak, vertical passing, like you're saying, but I don't know. Would like to see that. I think Al Tanaka had one of the best plays of the second half for me was Al Tanaka switching the ball towards the back post of Sam Byram, having pretty much a clear header, and he just couldn't get it on target. I mean, I want to see more of that kind of play, just switching the ball low in and maybe a header or a shot to an open target. We struggled to break down a low block, and we've done since Salford last year. I think it's just something we have to deal with. We are looking at perfection instead of promotion. Points count. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You're stacking 3 points. You could look at Farke's side and say, yeah, it's a second half side. I agree with all that. I mean, I agree with all this stuff. I think that we have to finish. It's just that second half, we just hung around. And anytime a team can hang around and look in their, look into each other's eyes and say we're still in it. Yes, it's just it's something you don't want to do. You want to really kind of just step on their throat, don't you? I mean, somebody said, well, and we'll get into some of the comments on Twitter that I think are interesting. And then let me know what you guys think too, and we'll go back to you guys. But this woman says, wasn't pretty, glad for the 3 points. There are issues that need to be addressed. Thank you for not ruining my weekend, Leeds, says Veronica. Perot is the greatest the greatest striker in championship history, says Scrappy. I think possibly. I mean, I don't know. I guess on efficiency, maybe you might say that. 3 points is massive, says Micro Designs. Win or lose, we'll have some moaners out in force as they seem to know more about how a team should perform. Lying, aren't we second? Here's the other thing I'm going to say, because all of that is true, but we're not trying to be mid-table in the Premier League right now, right? We can't just kind of happy clap this game and say, hey, we got 3 points, 2 goals, but it was a struggle. Let's not whistle past the graveyard. Our mindset really has to start being, we are the Man City of the championship. We don't care where this game is. We don't care what we're playing. We don't care what style you're playing. We are going in for 3 points. It does not matter. There are no moral victories. I know I don't care about Man City now. I care about, Man City Giant. It was just week in, week out, 3 points, and every other team is going, this is a free hit. That's the kind of mindset we have to have. We have to be absolute killers. We want to get the F out of this division. We don't want to be here. the team will weaken. I could go on. It's not going to be good. Like the next year is going to be worse, much worse than just losing some star power like we lost this last summer that some of us didn't expect to lose, me being one. I never thought Archie would have left for the money he did. So we want to get the hell out of here. So we do have to be ruthless, at least I think as a mentality, as a club, and as a fan base. This guy says, will Southgate's tactics finally change another narrow win at Ellen Road? Basically comparing Farke to Southgate. I get the pragmatism too. Like I don't care how we win. I want 3 points. I really doesn't matter to me. I don't care if we have possessed the ball for 20% of the game or 80% of the game. I want us to bury them when we get them. Let me dip back into your comments too. If you don't get 90 points, you'll struggle with low blocks. I think you're saying if you don't get 90 points. Yeah, I mean, we don't struggle with low blocks. We did get 90 points. I mean, I agree with all that. Yes, we do last season, but I say we aren't perfect. Yeah. I just think that the front four will continue to be a struggle. If that makes any sense? It's not going to be like last year where we're kind of just ripping people's throats out. And I don't think many teams now, because we could really count. I mean, we got 12 points right off the top two, because Leicester came out to play ball and Ipswich came out to play ball. These teams are going to, and even the top teams like the Sheffield United, who's in second, and Burnley, who's in fourth, are going to play this block style, and they're better at it. I will say they're better at it, right, than QPR. But this defensive, and you saw in Millwall, like they're going to continue to play this style against us. And it's going to continue to be a question. So I think we have the answers, but I think the answers are going to continue to be just being so airtight on counters against us. Then that's the reason that we go up. I think we go up. I mean, I do think I think we go up. Long international break. Brendan Aronson will be in the United States. He plays in Texas and Missouri, so that's a good 6 or 7 hours away from the UK. I don't know about the rest of the players that have been called up. I assume Gnonto will go into the U21 side in Italy. I assume Rodon will be called for the Welsh side, but a lot of that stuff has not been released. We'll take a look at that. Maybe I'll try to get one of the big dogs on this podcast, maybe a Joe or Jeer or my buddy Michael, and we'll dip into Leeds. But cheers to you folks for just being a Leeds United fan. Follow me on Twitch and Spotify and X or Twitter now, and just keep rocking in the free world. My name's Alex. Marching together, Leeds.